Nice. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, now you can open your mouth. I saw Gladiator.
How was it?
So good. It's the best movie that's come out this year.
I don't know anything about the new one.
Okay.
Does it actually tie in and follow up from the old one, or is it completely its own entity?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's two. It's a series.
Okay.
It's a sequels.
All right.
Sequel.
I'm in.
Yeah. It's the son of
Maximus.
Jesus Christ, Jake. Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, it is a sequel.
Nice.
It's fantastic. It would have been Marcus Aurelius's daughter's husband, Acacius, right?
Okay.
Her son.
I'm tracking.
Yes. Comes in as a slave, as a gladiator.
Right.
And then they find out later on that he is the son.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Denzel Washington is in it.
I saw a cinematic masterpiece a couple days ago, Moana 2. It's a sequel as well.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what the 2 means.
Okay. Yeah.
Got nothing else for you.
Yeah. Well, Gladiator 2. Yeah. How was it?
It was good. So the only problem with Gladiator 2 is like 3 hours.
Yeah, dude, you don't even notice that you're there for that long.
Ooh, ADHD does notice.
Yeah. I have ADD.
I have the H part.
I couldn't tell.
It's the hyperactive portion.
Yeah.
Sitting still.
Yeah, I can tell
Yeah.
We should do a podcast while we walk, pace.
Ooh, that'd be good. Just give me like a walking
pace
pad.
cast.
I'll just stand on it while they're talking.
Just do yeah. So were you medicated for ADHD?
No. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Did your parents not have health insurance or something?
No, they did, but they're like, he just is able to hyper focus on certain things, and then he's just doing everything.
Well, they actually probably, it was a blessing that they didn't medicate you.
Probably true, honestly, because I did figure out ways, but it did make some things difficult in life. But now it is kind of like a little superpower because I have a bazillion things that like hobbies I would start and then just go all in and buy, I'm a welder now, and then I don't weld. No, I'm a photographer now, and I don't.
We talked about the welding thing.
Yeah. So I love the fact that I guess I did a bunch of different random things in life. But no, not medicated. Raw dogging this ADHD thing. Yeah.
That's good. Me too. Do you, did it affect your performance in school?
No.
You were a good student or just a bad student regardless?
We were homeschooled up until high school.
Oh, so you're like the prom king and everything.
Yeah, dude. My own house. So it worked out, I think, really well.
Yeah, valedictorian.
Yeah. It was nice. My mom was a legit teacher, so that kind of worked out. She was a
principal. Oh, she was?
Yeah, she was a principal up in San Gabriel School District and then retired and then taught us full time. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I felt like we got a good education.
Did you have to do algebra?
I did.
You did?
I can't do it now.
I don't think anybody can.
Yeah. Letters.
The only people that use algebra now are algebra teachers.
You know, it was really frustrating because they said like you'd never have you can't use a calculator. You won't have one with you.
Yeah, right.
Well, I've got a phone in my pocket always.
I don't even need a calculator anymore. I have Siri.
Yeah. I got ChatGPT, man.
Well, yeah, that too.
It helps me do our daughter's homework. Just take a picture.
Yeah.
She's like, how do you do this? I'm like, I don't know. Let's
but
find
now
out.
You're like the smartest guy ever.
I'm a genius, dude.
You want to know something? I used to have this half-baked idea of a YouTube channel called Solve for X. And it was going to be, and this might still be a thing that could happen, where it was like hot chicks
doing math,
reteaching dads how to do elementary, middle school, and high school like curriculum.
Yeah.
And basically it was like, refresher, but like done in terms of like speed and like how we learn today. But then you have to have hot chicks because it'll keep the guy's attention.
Or they're distracted.
Yeah. I didn't think about that part.
Someone's gonna start an OnlyFans off that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you there is something out there already.
Yeah, like an
I bet you there
OnlyFans
is. Yeah.
with like a chick.
The hot teacher OnlyFans.
Yeah, she's got a bush.
Ugh.
Well, you got to realize that algebra comes with pubes.
This is going to be a good podcast.
Yeah.
We're off to the races.
We're right off to the races. I don't know why an algebra teacher has to have a bush, but in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of bush, and I'm not a big fan of algebra. So they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. I mean, it makes sense.
Hand in bush.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad we have that out in the open now.
Yeah. Yeah, I found out a lot about Jeremy Jackson the other day, so that just kind of made me think of that.
He hates algebra as well.
No, loves bush.
I'm so happy we're doing this.
Oh God.
All right.
So we had a Dude's Day out today. If we want to tell anybody who's watching this, it's going to go on a new page. So we had a Dude's Day out today. It didn't go well.
Define well.
Well,
we all hung out. We ate delicious food.
Yeah,
We're
but I
doing a
thought we were
podcast?
gonna but I kind of thought we would be mingling.
Well,
you
it's a
didn't
Sunday
have
at
but Sunday,
noon.
yeah. It was probably too early.
Yeah. Most people are still worshiping the Lord.
we don't know how to brunch. We're too old and too sober, and
We
too,
did
too
go to a
married.
restaurant where we were the only people.
Yeah,
So
limited menu.
I would say it went great.
Okay.
It's that miserable hanging out with us?
No, it's great. So it's so funny because I always think about the last time that
Oh, see.
that I got the guys out. And
Comparison
the
is
last
the thief
time,
of joy.
I know.
Comparison is
I
the
know.
thief of joy.
I understand this, but the last time Jake, Freddie, and I got together, we went out. There was fire things and
Shooting stars.
no shooting stars, but there was we were outside. There wasn't the canopy thing.
People have no idea what you're talking about. So we went to a outdoor rooftop. It's called the Tree House, and they had we'll call it a glass. It's plastic, but think about a greenhouse.
Yeah. It was
Just
it's for
hot,
what they put in weed.
Humid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not somewhere ideally on a sunny day in Huntington you'd probably want to sit.
No, it just magnified everything. So no, yeah.
Like a little ant.
I just had a vision. I had a vision for you coming out and us mingling and yo, who are these guys? 'Cause that's how it always is. But then it was we walk in, it's wham, no one's there.
I'm glad you're disappointed.
Yeah,
I think it teaches us a lot
yeah.
because we can set our expectations.
I know. I had really big expectations for this Dude's Day out.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm still happy you're here too. And actually, it's great because we're doing some cool things together now.
Yeah, it's been quite a whirlwind this last week, and I'm not complaining, but it's been exciting.
Explain whirlwind.
Justin texted me and said, "What are you doing right now?" And I said, "Nothing." And then in 3 minutes, I was on a Zoom call. And then in 5 minutes, I was part of leadership. And then in 45 minutes, I was helping lead the call for the night. So I would call that a whirlwind. That looked good.
It's not. It tastes like fucking garden dirt. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. As we grow, and we've had we've done this a couple times, and it was did we have the right guy in? And then it was then we ended up with Jake, so we didn't have the right guy in. And then no, I'm kidding, Jake, I love you. But it was we're very cautious with who we bring into leadership. Now we have a ton of great people that are in our community, and there's no buts about it. I just wanted somebody that was more local.
Yeah.
Two, somebody that married, very invested in his marriage and not invested in his marriage.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. And I wanted somebody with just a really positive attitude and somebody that has gotten serious results out of the program.
I appreciate that. Yeah. No, it's it has been awesome to I guess it's been basically the last year, develop, build, scale, grow this. And quite literally, like, it's really easy to tell people, hey, no, yeah, you should totally join because I see what it did for me. It's like, I know exactly what it'll do. Like, just follow the steps and you'll do just fine. So
Yeah.
it makes it really easy for me to, I think, to stand behind or support anything in life, right? Like sobriety.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it did and changed your life. So you're like, well, yeah, dude, it's great.
Right.
You should try. So it's super easy for me to naturally talk about it and be excited and share with people. So
100%. One thing too is like I think a lot of people are like, oh, buy my course, buy, or like they're gurus and things like that. Like, I've never said that I'm a guru.
right.
I'm not. I'm really not even that smart. I don't
We know.
and I don't sell a fucking course. Oh, goo. I don't sell a course.
Yeah.
What we do is we actually mentor you. We actually help you make decisions. We actually help you build out your SOPs. We actually like show
Hands-on.
you. Yeah, we show you what you should do as the business owner and how to do it. Where to click.
Yeah. Well, I think that's required because so you lose, it becomes impersonal when it's just a course, right? Just click this. And unfortunately, not one size just fits all.
No.
You've got fitness coaches, you've got real estate, you've got interior designers, we've got everybody. And a course won't cover that.
No.
Like, you need to have a mentor who, okay, well, let's figure out what's going to work for you. Let's find your niche. Let's find your avatar. Let's find,
Right.
and build the systems out for that specific industry, for that specific page, for that. Even two people, a fitness guy, your different fitness stuff than my fitness stuff.
Right.
Like, it's all different. So,
Right.
so yeah, having that personal connection is the only way to actually, I think, see real results.
100%.
Actionable measures.
Well, we have fitness coaches who charge a ton of money.
Yeah.
And we have fitness coaches who charge not very much at all. And
Right.
both of them are successful. They just, one's volume, one's high ticket.
Yeah.
Right? Well, one course isn't going to show both of these guys how to market separate, completely different
Yeah.
business models. So how do I show? Well, I built a massive low ticket program. I built a massive high ticket program. I have two successful low ticket and high ticket fitness programs that I've built
Yeah.
that are sustainable, that I can depend on a paycheck. And people want to know how to do that.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between having a business and hustling fitness programs.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably pull the wool over enough people's eyes to make it by. And I would call that the hustling side.
Yep.
Versus having something that's reputable where people are like, hey, I want your help. Hey, I've seen the results. Hey, I need to have you on my team.
Right. Well, what I mean actually, and you're right there, that is a good way to put it. But what I'm talking about is like the scramble.
Just always having to grind.
Always having to like, I got to find someone to sell a program to because the fucking cable bill's coming up. And like
Stressing.
that's how most people do it.
Yeah.
The other guy, we won't say his name, but the other guy will say, oh, well, send out 100 cold DMs and do burpees everywhere you go. Just park your car on the side of the highway and go do burpees in the highway, big dog, and take pictures of your macros and then hope somebody does something. And it's like, dog, you're hoping, you're leaving your business up to whatever, a blueprint, fucking blueprint.
Yeah. Which isn't that good.
It's not a very good blueprint. But again, it's like, okay, yeah, you should have a posting schedule. You should know what the fuck you're
Well, it's an operation. It's still a business.
Yes.
But doing it the right way.
Do it the right way.
Yeah.
It's not post and pray. Oh, I hope somebody likes my thing. I hope that they say I want to buy a program, and then when it doesn't, this is a scam, and I quit.
So I like what you said though about posting, because that's what's really exciting for me. While trying to say it not arrogantly, I feel like I've done
really good at social media.
really good job with social media.
Yes.
Not a good side on business, right? Like I can get stuff to go viral. I know how to make content. I know how to get stuff that's going to get attention. Then what do I do with it? And that's where I was like, hey, I need a mentor. I need a system. I need
Yep.
a process. I need something that's going to get me past that. So now it's awesome to be tied in as leadership where I get to help everybody else figure out, hey, how are we going to get your stuff to go viral? How are we going to get your stuff to be seen? How are we going to get you the engagement? And then all the other leadership team, yeah, trust them. They know the business side. They know how to do that. But it takes both.
Well, I
You
think
need
for
both
most
sides.
people, it's one or the other, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sick at sales, but when I get on camera, I freeze up
Right.
and I don't know what to post. And my content doesn't grow and I'm stuck at 300 followers, right? And then there's other people that are like, oh, I fucking crush it there. But when I get on a sales call, I freeze up and I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yep. It's so interesting too because I went through the exact same phases where when you first start something, you feel imposter syndrome. You feel like, well, why should I be on film? Like I'm just Dan. And there's a million people that would kill to be where you're at.
Yeah.
Like the you 5 years ago would kill to be where you're at now.
Right.
And people just like don't have this concept of looking backwards and be like, hey, there's plenty of people that want exactly what I have. Mm-hmm. So I love that. We get to help a lot more of our community members and figure out this social media side while also equipping them with everything else to run
Systems,
business,
processes, SOP, merchants. And,
change your life, make this your full-time job.
yeah. I think a lot of people too don't realize how like realistic it is. Like 90% of people that come on calls with us, when I ask them like, what are you currently doing? Like they're not making over $100,000 a year.
No, and it's you get them on the calls and you always hear like well, if I'm able to, well, maybe I'll do it. And it's like, well, let's change the mindset even right here. Like when I do this, I'm going to. When we like, you got to have that mindset. Like this is the gig. Mm-hmm. This is what you want to do. Why'd you get on this call? This is what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to make like $8,500 a month to make $100,000 a year online coaching. Not to mention, depending on how slippery your tax guy is, you can almost keep all of that money too. You want to make $8,500? Sell 2 programs for $4,250.
Yeah. It's
So-
not rocket science. It's not
Sell
rocket
8
science.
programs for $1,000. Like, honestly, it's not hard to do it.
Well, but that's what so many people say. Well, it's oversaturated.
No.
Okay. Let's lean into devil's advocate. Sure. Say let's go big. There's 100,000 coaches out there that aren't actually doing anything.
No.
It's not hard to stand out because everybody else is sleeping. Like
Right.
if you actually just follow your own system, be authentic, be yourself, and provide actual value, it's not hard to stand out. Because
Right.
you even had people, right? JWX, we get people from other programs who've already paid some mentor and it fell flat.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. Didn't get value.
Yeah. Well, it's most people who don't make it in online fitness coaching, and that's just one element of what we do. But in online fitness coaching, it's bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Bodybuilders are the worst at online fitness coaching
Why do you think?
because they're self-absorbed. It's too much about their journey to get on stage, and it's not relatable. Right? So the only thing that it's relatable to is other bodybuilders. Well, now you're taking a broke bodybuilder who's going to start coaching other broke bodybuilders. It's like, it's not,
Yeah.
right?
This isn't going to be sustainable.
Right. It's like starting a car dealership without any money to buy cars to sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not, it's not going to work. Like,
Just imagine the lot is full of,
right.
you can see it, right?
Right. And then give me some money and then I'll go find a car to sell you.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. So yeah, it's funny because the people who look like they should do the best
Right.
are the worst. And
And
the
yet-
people who probably don't look like they're in the greatest dick skin peeled shape
Do well.
are the best.
Yeah. If only, because you know how much time it takes to be a professional bodybuilder. The
Right.
dedication, the discipline on everything. Like
Yeah.
the amount you sleep, you're tracking every single minute of your day.
Mm-hmm.
If you could harness that same power, like you'd be an unstoppable force in
Yep.
business.
And there's only a few that will do it.
Right. And we know them and they are incredible.
Yeah.
Super close friends now.
Yep. There's
Right.
only a few that will do it. And it's funny because like the bodybuilders who are like actual professionals and like have massive careers in bodybuilding, they're like, and I talk to them, like, I don't know why anybody would get into bodybuilding.
Takes so much work.
Like it's not as if I don't talk to some of the biggest bodybuilders in
Yeah.
the world that I'm like very close friends with. like in bodybuilding history. One happens to be the greatest to ever step on stage, and that's not even arguable. They all say like, well, I don't know why anybody's even getting into this sport.
Yeah. I respect it though.
No, I do too.
I respect it.
I respect the discipline. I respect the growth. I respect the fact that I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I don't, my issue, and this is taking kind of a turn, but my issue is genetic. Like it's just, you know.
Yeah. There is a handful that is quite literally your body type.
Yeah.
We can work with most people, right? You can cut fat, you can build some muscle, but some of it, if we're staying on the natural, okay. But some of it's like, you're not going to ever look like that.
Right. Right.
At least not to that extreme.
Right.
We can get you looking built. You're not going to be in
No.
Arnold Classic.
No, not at all. And again, and that's the thing. It's like why invest all your time? It's like it's basically like being a musician too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm going all in to become the best musician ever.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite musically gifted.
Right.
And you spend all the money, you get the best amps, the best gear, the best PA, the best mics. You take singing lessons and
you're
guitar
never
lessons.
be Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. And it'll never happen. But you go incredibly broke trying to do it.
Right.
And for the love of what? Like, I love music. I'm a musician.
You like music?
Sometimes.
You don't have any tattoos about bands or anything?
Like 3 or 4, yeah.
14 or something?
Yeah. But I knew when to hang it up.
Yeah. That is, I think, also, well, because in this space, there's a lot of people that it's not necessarily that they need to hang it up. It's that they
Pivot.
Pivot. They don't know the right route to take.
Right.
Now, I agree with you. Like, yeah, you're not going to become a musician. You're not going to become a bodybuilder. But like in the online space of coaching, a lot of people, you can do it. You
can,
just don't know the right route.
Redirect where your passion is. You can be in bodybuilding.
Right.
You can make a lot of money and be involved in the bodybuilding area.
Right.
I'm not a bodybuilder, and I make far more than almost every single professional bodybuilder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm also in the same rooms as them, and I get to spend time with professional bodybuilders and things like that. And I get to advise professional bodybuilders and things like that. But I never said that I wanted to step on stage.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, talking about pivot, it's this quote that I've been hearing all over. It's like, I don't want to say it's trending, but everybody's posting it. What you're not changing, you're choosing. And I think that's a lot of, in the online space too, like there's a lot of things, well, this isn't working. Well, I can't get clients. Well, what have you done to change it?
Yep.
Well, and that goes for all areas of life, myself included. Like, I don't like this, but what am I doing to change it? Well, I don't like that I get it. Well, what should I do to change it? And if I'm not changing it, indecision is a decision, right? So you're choosing it.
The worst decision.
It is. You're totally accurate.
The worst
Making
decision.
any choice to try to change something is better than just sitting stagnant. I don't know. I like that quote a lot. It hit me right in the gut. Kind of a gut check.
We set a date.
And
I think we're going to get out a lot sooner.
Oh, I'm in favor of that.
How does it work when you leave the fire service? Do you have to put your 2 weeks in?
To be honest, I don't even know. Probably. So
Paul.
it works in 2 ways. You have holiday time, sick hours, etc. So you can just start burning those days. Well, basically, like that could be your 2 weeks. Like you, like, hey, I'm going to start burning time, but also I'm not coming back.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of the back end stuff that I'm going to have to tie in with people because, like, your pension, everything you pay into, all that kind of stuff, basically will sit because you sign a contract when you start, and it's like you can't touch that until you're 50. So even if I quit, it's just going to sit in an account basically, and
I see.
some percentage per year grow, and then in 20 more years, I'll get to.
Yeah, enjoy your pension.
It won't be a ton because I'm not going to be paying into it for the next 20 years. But yeah, we set a date. We're tentative, said July, but the goal is sooner.
Yeah. I have a feeling that'll be a lot sooner than that.
So it's exciting. It's a weird process mentally to the fire service is weird. It is not, I get it. It's a job. It's a paycheck. It's a fucking hard job to get into. Like you have to go to fire tech classes and take an academy and do all this stuff. And then you go and test with 5,000 people for 20 spots. And then you get hired. And then you got to go through a background and a polygraph and a medical and a psych. And then you finally get hired. It's like, okay, cool. Now you got academy, 18 weeks. Now you got a 12-month probation. Now you got, it's like 2 years just to get a job ticket. And then you're, I don't want to say brainwashed, but you bought into it so much. You put so much time, so much effort, literal blood, sweat, tear. I've torn my rotator cuff. I've torn my bicep tendon. Like you have injured your body for this job. And okay, whatever, you want to tie in some trauma, like everything you've seen, like it affects you and you're like, this is it. This is my 30-year career. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit of a mind game where I am ready and I'm excited. And also there's a little bit like, whoa, I worked really hard for that. But I'm good with it. Like I'm so good with it. I'm okay not missing every holiday now. Mm-hmm. I'm so okay not being gone from my family for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Or you get popped on a strike team. You're gone for 14 days. And it's just like that. I was like, hey,
wait,
babe.
wait, what is it?
They call it strike teams. So California, right? We have a lot of these wildfires. Anytime you see those and it says like, there's 200 firefighters battling it. Those are just normal firefighters from wherever city you're in. And quite literally it comes in like a tone and it says, hey, immediate need, like resource request. And I got my little bag in my closet and we're like, all right, we're going to strike team. And you go out and you're on that wildfire. And you don't go home. You're there for 14 days.
Oh, my God.
So it's like, hey, babe, you know that wedding tomorrow we're going to go to? Yeah, I'm not going to be there. But that happens too, just they call it mandos or a mandatory, whatever you want to phrase it. Same thing, dude. You'll be getting off work. Okay, babe, yeah, I'm changing. You know, it's like 7 a.m. I'll be ring, ring. Chief calls, hey, yeah, you got force for today. And it's like just kind of demoralizing. You're like, oh. It's not like you're here for an 8-hour shift. It's like, hey, we're here for another. Oh, and then I work the next day. So I'm actually going to be here for 2 more days. So I'm excited to not do that. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm excited to not see more bad things. It's fun. There's fun aspects of the job. You get to do crazy stuff. You get to see things that I've done things, seen things that I couldn't even imagine. And there's also stuff you don't want to see.
I can imagine. You know,
and so it's like,
kids
I don't need that. Yeah, I don't need that. I've
Yeah, because I mean, I know, and I've worked with a lot of coaches that were firefighters prior.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of the similar things, right? Like one, it's like your health. It's not even so much it's the chemicals and the
there is so many studies. The number one killer right now is actually suicide, and then number 2 is cardiovascular, like heart. That doesn't mean that they're like overweight. It's just you're not sleeping. Your cortisol levels are up. You're physically exhausted, and then it's 3 a.m. You've been awake all night, and you get tones popped out for a structure fire, and you're working your ass off in the middle of the night. Bodies are not meant to do this for 30 years,
right?
It's like,
and then you guys obviously inhale a ton of just garbage. I mean,
yeah, they've tried to get a lot better with we call them SCBAs, right? But it's like a scuba tank, lack of a better term. That's just on land.
On your skin. It's still...
Stuff gets on your skin. Prostate cancer, because you get all this soot, and then we go and we're either sweating, or even when you take a shower, it just drains down and it stays warmer down there, so your pores are opened up, and like that's the number one, prostate cancer. Guys get cancer all the time. So by the time you get 30 years in, it's a whole different industry too. Like it used to be houses were made out of straight wood, cotton. Now everything is plastic. Everything is synthetic. So fires are burning at temperatures that are just insane. More carcinogens, more junk, more just bad chemicals. And yeah, you go 30 years now working at departments where you're running 20 calls a day. You're actually fighting some fire. You're actually getting exposed to stuff. It's not healthy, dude. By the time you hit retirement, most guys are broken. Like I said, I've already torn a bunch of stuff. I've already had injuries. So you get retired. I guess you get a pension, but your quality of life is just trash.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm good with that.
Well,
like,
let me ask you this.
Ask.
Like I said, I've worked with a number of firefighters that started coaching businesses, right? And a lot of them have a similar story, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them, like slipped all let go of themselves. Some of them drank too much.
Yeah.
Some of them didn't have like a substance problem, but they had a confidence problem and things like that. And then, but a lot of them, and there's some big name coaches out there that were firefighters beforehand. What a great alternative.
Yeah.
Right? One, and this is just talking on the business side of things, in terms of content, I mean, the relatability for other firefighters, right? Like your job, like no one else can relate to unless you are a paramedic or a firefighter.
Yeah. And that is 90% of my clients.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Firemen.
Well, yeah, exactly. And so like what a great position for a firefighter who's a hero, right? In great shape, has the mental fortitude to deal with being away from his family for 3 to 4 days, stays in shape, has to deal with getting up and down and everything that you guys have to deal with. What a great transition.
Yeah. No, it's a very natural transition. So in essence, even as a fireman, your job is personal connection. Your job is relatability. You show up to a stranger's home, you walk into their house, and you're not like, oh, hi, like I just walk in and I'm solving the problem inside your own home. I'm solving the problem for you. And that's like what we do with the online coaching space. Like I am walking in and I'm telling you, hey, here's what we're going to do. Hey, here's what and it's not in a derogatory way. It's in a personal way. Right. So you practice all day long as a fireman of personal connection, meeting with different people of all walks of life, of all ages, of all gender. Like you help anyone who's going through any problem. We don't get to choose, and we don't get on scene, right? And I don't get to call somebody else like, oh, I don't know how to solve this problem. Like, what do we do? You solve it. You figure whatever it is out. Like if it's a medical problem, if it's a hazmat, if it's a fire, if it's whatever. We get calls for the craziest stuff, dude.
Yeah. Well,
people don't know how to turn off the water to their fridge. 911. Just the craziest stuff. And that's what I do now. Like as a fireman, I solve problems. As an online coach, I solve problems.
Have you had to deal with crisis yet in your coaching program?
Define crisis.
Well, I mean, do you want me to tell you a story of mine?
Sure.
Borderline suicide?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah. One of our clients right now is in a psych ward.
Oh, really?
But is calling me and going through stuff, and we're dealing with it. And it's awesome. In fact, when we got on the first phone call, it was, hey, I've got nothing else to lose because I'm going to kill myself.
Yep.
You're kind of my last option. And I leaned into it. It was funny. I had 2 of our other coaches who work with me on the call, and they froze. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to say. And it felt so natural because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been in that same headspace. I've been in that thought process where I wasn't scared of it. I didn't lean away from it. And I think there's something so tangible when you tell somebody something crazy like that and they don't freak out. In fact, they go, oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
And you immediately feel accepted. You feel heard.
Right.
You feel seen. You're not this diseased person that, oh tell me more. Mm-hmm. What's going on?
Yeah, that's huge. To feel heard, to feel it's relatable, and I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest benefits of what we do is being able to watch that transformation.
Yeah.
From crisis to success. Now, your guy is currently in the psych ward.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a process for when they come out?
We have a few. It's more just the accountability side, right? Like,
yeah. Well, they're going to get a caseworker. They're going to get yeah.
And thankfully, some stuff is going on. We talked. They knew they needed help. They brought themselves there. They're looking for help. So it's like, hey, this is still awesome. Like, oh, I took 2 steps back. It's like, no, you've only been taking steps forward. You need more help.
Yeah. Going to the psych ward is not a step back.
No.
That is a huge step forward.
No, it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is actively pursuing what you know you need help with versus refusing it or hiding it or ignoring it and letting it get worse or festering or whatever. But yeah, it's been awesome. And I think that's also the biggest thing. So especially in the fire service, it is I'd say rough and tumble Like, you don't show emotion. We handle, we see stuff. Yeah, deal with it, kid. And having another fireman open up and share my story, like, yeah, I was an alcoholic. Yeah, I made a ton of bad choices. Yeah, I was depressed. Yeah, I went through this. It like opens the floor. It opens, oh, hey, I'm dealing with that too. Oh, I don't feel so alone. And that's been the coolest part, is like seeing that door open with a lot of other dudes. And we've got some chicks as well, but it's so cool to see, like, oh, it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay to not be perfect.
It's funny because there's a lot more attention towards like men's mental health.
Yeah.
And vulnerability and like suicide, especially because, suicide is one of the number one killers of men in general, not just even in the fire service. Yep. So there is a lot of attention to it, but it's funny because there's as much attention as there is, there's still an equal amount of resistance.
Yeah.
And I think there's a number of reasons that there still is that resistance. Everybody's busy, right? Everybody also has their own shit.
Yeah.
It's really hard to depend on a friend to help you through things like this. Yeah. It's really hard. As a matter of fact, it's not. It's not even appropriate to ask a friend to do that. And it's like, well, my friends aren't there for me, right? They're not meant to be. That's not like a friend is like the hard times are the hard times, and you have a friend that's there for you, but they can't do anything, and you can't expect them to. That's not their job.
Yeah, yeah.
So who's there? Well, it depends how bad it is. If it's suicide and drug addiction and alcoholism, things like that, you need professional help. There's no other way around it. Yeah. Okay. But then what? Well, then you need accountability. Well, your friends are not going to keep you accountable.
No.
We can prove that just by the history.
Yeah.
So
how
what
did
do
you get to this point?
Right. So why?
Your friends didn't help.
So why not invest in yourself?
Well, and that's what's so shocking to me, because I've broken it down, and depending on our programs, it's like $5 to $12 a day. Mm-hmm. Dude, I spend that in a heartbeat on Amazon or at the gas station buying a couple of Monsters or on anything else. And yet you have this ability to jump into something that can literally transform your life. Because our program is, I don't need to get into it all, but we're a little different where, we focus on fitness and nutrition, but the mindset portion, the accountability is the biggest part. Because if you don't, like, why get fit? If you don't have a reason, if you don't have a buy-in, you don't have a why, I call it your MOFA, your motivation for action. But if you don't have that why, well, at 4:30 when it's cold and you don't feel like getting out of bed, you're not going to get out of bed.
Yep.
You're not going to go to the gym. You're not going to keep on your diet. You're not going to keep doing it because you have no reason to. And people make every single excuse in the book. And it's like, oh, you need help, right? You want a different life, right? Mm-hmm. You want change.
Well, the reason that people won't do it, is because there is no, they don't take anything home with them. Okay. There's no instant gratification.
Yeah.
And I know this because, and I think everybody can relate to this, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm going to pay for something that I like. It's like, I wish people could look at it like this. When you get out of college or get out of high school, you expect the fact that you're going to pay for college.
Yeah. And it's going to take 4 years.
And it's going to take 4 years and it's going to cost a ton of money, but you're going to be setting your life up for something better. Hopefully, right? At this point, I don't believe in the education system at all, but that's the idea, right? And then all of a sudden you get out of college and that doesn't work out the way you thought it would. And now you're married, you have kids, you're 50, 60 pounds overweight. You have a bunch of bad vices and all these things. And like your life is like going down, 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 down. And then all of a sudden you run into a guy on social media or whatever, and you relate to the dude and he has exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And you lose that, like that, the bright eyed, big thinker, big vision person that you once were.
Yeah.
because you get so incredibly jaded and beat down. And the fact is that you spent all of this time chasing instant gratification, that's the way you're wired now.
Right.
So you have a mixture of like low confidence, low testosterone, a desperate need for instant gratification. And then when it comes down to putting your money where your fucking mouth is, you're a huge pussy because that's how you've programmed yourself. Now, the good news is you can go back to your factory settings.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what does it take to go back to your factory settings? This is a conversation we could talk about an entire podcast for, because that's
seriously, because
probably the most important thing most adult men should understand.
So you might think it's a terrible answer, but I think partially going back to your factory settings is making that gut decision. We do this analysis paralysis. You sit on something for so long, you talk yourself out of it. It's like, well, why did you get on this phone call? Why did you message me? Something in you was saying, hey, I need help. Hey, I need to change. Hey, I need to do this. And then your factory setting is like, hey, you need to do this.
Right.
I mean, you could go into it way deeper, but like, I think honestly, part of it is now if you've made poor decisions in the past, if you have like some type of, like, I understand there's people that should not follow every single thought they're thinking, right?
Right.
But ones that are leading you towards a healthier life, like, I wouldn't say it's a bad thought process that you're like, hey, I should probably get my life together and get healthy and have a mentor. Something in your gut was like, hey, do this. What do you think? I'd be curious to see, because that, like,
what's factory reset?
My initial factory
Freddie,
reset
can you
is
turn
like
my headphones down
is
just a
like,
titch?
hey, you just need to jump.
Yeah. You want to know the fastest way to get to factory reset? Rock bottom.
Oh, well, that was my factory reset.
Yep. Same here. And I bet you everybody else that's.
But in that moment at rock bottom, I got to make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that decision was like, go.
Yeah. So
Action.
I think when there's nothing left, it's like this. It's like, let's look at it like a computer, right? Your computer's totally polluted. And I'm sure like imagine like your computer at like 14 years old.
Yeah. My dad did a lot of virus software.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pops.
Yeah. Yeah. You're nasty. But look, like you got your computer and it's like fully just blasted out. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just not going to work anymore.
Yeah. Unplug.
Blowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
N64.
just, I think that that it's like when there's nothing left,
Yeah.
when it doesn't look like there's any hope for anything, when you're ready to either call it quits.
But that's what's so hard, because having been there, I don't want other guys to get there. Now, there's an aspect where you almost have to get there for you to have the buy-in and to actually do it. But it's like watching my kids, right? Like, I never want them to get hurt, but also I know that if they fall off their bike, they're going to learn, oh, next time I'm not going to take that turn so sharp. And it's like, I don't want people to fail. Like, I wish I could just have you never fall off your bike.
Well, yeah, you don't wish it.
But
for
I also
people.
know you're going to learn the most out of that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's people that teeter-totter. If I would picture like the person that teeter-totters on rock bottom every now and then, but like is literally viciously mediocre and has like it's everything's a catastrophe. Like every month, like his wife's leaving him, or
we know those people.
Yeah, of course, they're everywhere. Like there are a lot of
the
men.
world is out to get me.
Yeah, right. Victims. Right. External locus of control, like just the life is happening to them and not for them.
It's never my problem.
Right. And that's most men. Like most men, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I don't know any of those guys, you're the guy. You're that guy. And most men listening to this actually are pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're teetering with like, and it doesn't ever get that bad. Well, it's like, man, you're letting like the basic fundamental things in life bail you out of what could be completely life altering and changing for the better. So it's like, oh, well, she's leaving me, man. She's leaving me. My life's over. She's going to divorce me. She's going to take all my stuff. And then it's like, good, she should leave you. You're a piece of shit. There's no reason for her to stay. And maybe if she does leave you, you're going to get your shit right. And you're going to realize that you're alone and then life sucks.
Reset.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you realize that her energy is matched up to yours. She's just as weak as you are. She takes you back and then you go back into your vicious cycle of mediocrity.
Yeah.
Okay. Rock bottom looks different for everybody. Did I make you cry?
No, dude, I'm like, I'm trying not to cough, but there's a cough tickle.
Oh, cough.
And no, we're just going to cry.
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah. Don't make someone else make you cry. Cry yourself.
Yeah,
Be a
yeah.
man.
So yeah, it is. It's like, I believe actually that rock bottom is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yeah, who was I talking to? I think it was with my wife. We were talking about how like you would never wish that upon anybody. Mm-hmm. And yet I wouldn't be who I am today without it. Like I am so thankful to have gone through the darkest times of my life, right? Because it has spurred action.
Yeah. I know 3 guys that teetered with rock bottom this year.
Yeah.
That like teetered back and forth, and that's the exact situation that I just told you about. That I can name 3 guys really in the last 6 months. You know what happened to them?
They went back.
They're dead.
Ugh.
They killed themselves.
Yeah.
And that was the exact story.
That is
3 guys, pretty much the same exact story.
And without feeling seen, heard, or somebody to help pull you up by your bootstraps, that is the most next logical solution.
Yep.
It's not, I think there's so many guys too that I've talked to. It's not that they want to kill themselves. They don't see a way out.
Right.
They don't see the light. They don't see that there's the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And it's like, hey, it's over here. Like you just needed to dig a little bit deeper. You didn't see that there was that next step was the end. I like
3 guys, 3 fucking guys that all teetered on the rock bottom situation, but they were too tough.
It's not worth it.
Yep. They're all brains blown out, gone, left their family, kids, everything. And I can tell you that all 3 of them reached out to me and didn't have the fucking balls to tell me like, Jay, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I could tell, but it was like, what do I do? Force it out of you?
And that's what's very hard, finding that line, especially in the coaching space. Like, hey, I've been there. I see the signs, but I can't. You gotta talk to me.
Meanwhile, I have another client that called me one day out of the blue. Never met him before in my life. He lives up in like Seattle or something like that. I know exactly where he lives, but I'm just gonna leave. I don't want to make it too.
His address is.
Yeah, his address is, and it's this. No, called me out of the blue with Facebook Messenger. Okay, and he goes, I saw a reel that you put out, and I'm ready to end my life. I'm like a half of a handle of tequila deep.
Yeah.
A half gallon of tequila deep, and I'm ready to blow my brains out right now. I need help.
Say less.
He hit rock bottom, lost his kids, lost his girl. Okay. Today, he's got a 6-pack.
Yeah.
He's got 3 promotions. He has custody of his children back. He's got a beautiful girlfriend. This is now almost 2.5 years later.
Yeah.
And his life is entirely changed.
Yeah.
Okay. That conversation was out of the blue, the same exact start, minus him just coming out and saying it, as the 3 guys that are dead now.
Right. But he chose action.
He chose action.
I guess you can choose action in both ways, right? But he chose positive action.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He never met me before. He saw a reel that accidentally landed on Facebook.
That's what's so powerful about sharing your story. And I think a lot of our coaches too don't realize, I said it earlier, like there's people that would quite literally kill to be where you're at. And just sharing your story, you have no idea what stranger's going to see it and have that kind of impact where you saved a dude's life. Quite literally. Like that's massive.
Yeah. I don't know that I did, but it was there. I was there for him. I will say this guy's name, Randon Fall. He works for us now, right?
Yeah.
Another guy where it was like teetering on mediocrity, or well, he was mediocre, right? But like teetering on like, his health was completely shot. He was 200 and some pounds overweight, and asked for help.
Yeah.
He couldn't afford me.
Right.
He couldn't, he'll listen to this. I love him to death. He couldn't afford me, but he did everything he could to be bought into the program.
Yeah.
He's down 200 pounds.
I was gonna say, and I bet it worked because
He's
when
down
you get to
200
that place
pounds,
where
like
you
3
need
job
help.
promotions, not a single medication on him.
Yeah.
He's like 2 years sober. He looks incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Real life change.
Ask for help.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so silly in a way. Like when you're at that place, you feel like you're so alone. You feel like, and it's like, no, dude, there are so many people that I'll never say, I know what you're feeling, but I've been there.
Yep.
There's so many people that have some understanding of what you're going through. Like you're not alone. You're not alone, dude. Just reach out, say something. I love this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we have a great opportunity. And a lot of people have a really great opportunity. I love working with coaches that have dealt with drug abuse and alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite because we're just wired different.
You never worried about like, well, how am I going to get drunk? Well, how am I going to get high? Like you found it. You
Right.
made it happen.
Yeah.
And you can carry that same kind of skill set where it's like, I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, here's another thought, though, actually. I think the best time, it was funny because when I started coaching, I didn't have a lot of time sober. And I was like, I felt a little bit like an imposter, right?
Yeah.
But I was like making the most out of my sobriety. But here's the thing. I think the best time to start coaching in sobriety is right away.
Yeah.
I think as soon as, if you work a 12-step program, as soon as you work your 12th step, start coaching.
Yeah.
I think right away
You have
it's
the
the
most
best time.
enthusiasm.
Right. You have the yeah,
You have
yeah,
the
yeah,
freshest skill set, if you
Right.
will.
yeah.
And you're like the closest to touching the other side. Like you still resonate a lot with people that are going through it.
100%. Your sobriety will get so much stronger too.
Yeah. 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 What is it? See one, do one, teach one? Like,
Yep.
okay, you were the drinker. You started to learn, and now you're teaching people how. And every single day, I get on coaching calls every single day, and we go through our life coaching stuff. It's also a reminder to me. I get to go through these, and I'm like, oh, I should have handled that conversation with my wife differently. Oh, I need to ask questions, and I'll always give answers.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, go through sobriety and start coaching other people.
Right.
It's going to build your sobriety even stronger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
So yeah. And if you're like thinking that, because I remember how I thought, I was like, well, I'm like freshly sober. Like, how am I going to get into coaching?
Yeah, do it.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, do it.
This
You're a
was
good
fun.
dude, Justin.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're a terrible dude.
I'm a terrible dude.
Just kidding. This has been good, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Really good.
Awesome. Is that a wrap?
Sure.
It's a wrap. Ready?